You can't get no more.
You don't want to use more tape because it's going to be too heavy.
Yeah, we did. We did less tape. So wait, so we have to do this. We're all bad here. We don't want nails saved.
Spread out so that all the pieces are open. Because if the parachute's not open, it won't work right. Hold on. That worked. Nate and Soren's parachute. How did it get tangled? Sadie's group. Nice. All right, once you've tested it, go ahead and line back up because we need to go inside. Hi, welcome back to Teacher Tip Friday, and today's teacher tip comes very timely the week before spring break. Spring break is historically late this year, and most teachers are really feeling it. Whatever week you typically have spring break, it's probably not the week that you are experiencing it. Our kids are feeling it, the teachers are feeling it. So here are 10 tips for lesson planning for a calm week so you can survive the last few days before spring break. My first tip for surviving the last few days before spring break is to incorporate some sort of calming activity that you can intersperse throughout your day. Whenever students do something for you that you need them to do, then reward them with some sort of calm down and give them points or little tokens of some sort that will lead up to a reward at the end of the week each time they participate in a calming activity. You can do mindfulness activities, you can do brain breaks, whatever you do, make sure that you have provided a quiet, calm atmosphere in your classroom. You can dim the lights, you can play nature music in the background very softly, guide students through some sort of visualization activity, maybe their best spring break ever, anything to help them center themselves in between activities is a great way to bring calmness into a rather chaotic time of the year. This can be a really difficult time for students in getting along with each other because they are just tired. They're tired because they're not getting enough rest. They're staying up because it's lighter later, that they're still getting up early for school. And they tend to just be grouchy because they have been in the same class with the same kids all year long, and they're just getting on each other's nerves. So a great way to reduce the number of flare-ups that you have with classroom issues, with discipline, and with conflict is to encourage a kindness countdown. Each day, challenge your students to one simple act of kindness, and I will post a calendar with many different ideas below in the links in the description, and you'll be able to figure out which ones will work best for you in your own classroom. But focusing on positive things instead of focusing on what they're doing wrong is a nice way to bring in some positive vibes in the last week before spring break. You can do a bingo board that has calming activities. Make a large size on a chart paper or a poster board, stick it up on the wall, and then you can either, draw for the activity, or you can spin like a wheel if you have a wheel with each one having a number. However you want to do it, randomly select these activities and then mark them off throughout the day. And when your class gets bingo, then maybe you could take them outside for a 2-minute walk around the campus or something fun like that that's unusual, just to get their energy out. Do you have a lot of tasks in your classroom that need to be done to get yourself back in order before spring break? This next one is a great one. The totally unexpected task from the teacher. Come up with a few random things that you can ask your class to do to help you get ready before you go on spring break. Just something that you know that it would bother you when you come back in after break if it's not straightened. This can be many different things. Reorganizing some buckets in your classroom library. It shouldn't be like a super big overhaul activity. It should be something simple simple that they can handle, but they can each take part in it in the classroom. And just randomly have them do it in the middle of your class period when you need a break, when you need to reset their behavior. Just the randomness and the request to help you, the teacher, usually is a great way to break up any anxious or aggravating behaviors that might be going on in your classroom and set the kids back into following your directions. Now let's talk lesson planning. So here's what my lesson plan looks like for next week. I have a journal prompt every morning. It's just part of our school-wide Capturing Kids' Hearts program that goes along with behavior. And on Tuesday, I have for the students to write affirmations for each other. These go in their affirmation folders, and it's just a nice way to say something good about a classmate. And it always puts the kids in a good mood. So doing that randomly on a Tuesday as our journal prompt, I like that idea for getting the kids to focus on what they like about each other instead of how aggravated they are with each other at this point. We are doing a day of science experimenting on Monday. It's just come to a point in our curriculum where there's a little bit of a time where I have some flexibility, and I've done a lot of review this last week. So I started something today, and we did like a live ed puzzle together to learn about it. And then my students are going to set up this experiment as one of their stations. It's called Bendy Bones. We're getting ready to go into a unit on the human body in science, and I'm just kind of giving the students some fun exposure to the skeleton and the concepts behind it before we start studying the information that they need to know. So station 1 is going to be a passage that comes from ReadWorks. It's called Bones on the Go. That will be a reading passage that they're going to do independently, annotate it, use our testing strategies, and answer the 5 questions. Station 2 will be the prediction of what they think is going to happen with their bones when they soak them in vinegar, and then there'll be a few questions that go along with it that they have to write. Station 3 will be the actual experiment where they set it up. Station 4 will be skeleton models. Let me show you what that looks like. They're going to use Q-tips to create this cute little model. This is actually from a Halloween activity, but it goes with what we're learning, so it's perfect. I'm gonna have the pieces for them, and then the vocabulary words, clavicle, vertebrae, phalanges, femur, tibia, ribs, humerus, and cranium. And they're going to have to construct their little Q-tip skeleton, which we will probably put these up for a little while, and then they'll get to take them home later. So the stations usually have students work on 2 stations a day, but we're going to take an entire class period, and I'm going to try to get to all 4 stations with the kiddos so that they can really have a good time and enjoy their science on Monday. On Tuesday, we are hopping right into reviewing all the different types of genres that we have learned with an activity called Genre Everywhere. Students are going to identify a piece of text. So I have different types of text we've learned, like informational text, a fiction story like realistic fiction, a poem, a play, and they're going to identify it. Then they're going to create with their group a presentation that talks about what to think about when they're reading that type of passage. So they're just going to be reviewing the skills that we have learned that go along with each genre. And then when they do their presentations, these are very short mini presentations on Google Slides. After they've collaborated and they do their presentations, then we are going to go through one question that goes with their particular genre. That is the test taking question, and kind of talk about breaking it down and answering it. I'm going to use a question from our release test that for the state, and that way it will be the right type of practice that they need. But also they get to work together, they get to collaborate, have fun, do something on Google Slides, which is a favorite for them, and it should be just a good time. On Wednesday, we are doing what we call a headline hunt. The students are going to work in groups to figure out a good headline for their particular passage, and then they have to support why they chose that with several supporting details from their text. So this is basically a main idea or central message type of activity. Then we have a project that our entire grade level has been working on. We grew lettuce, and we're going to be creating a salad and making a dressing together, and then doing a little taste test. And students have some writing that they need to do to document what they learned through this experiment. On Thursday, students are going to do a vocabulary escape room activity, and that's going to involve context clues. So that's a big one on our third grade test in the state of North Carolina. And then I have a fast finishers activity where students will try to figure out which story spine goes with a particular story based on reading it, and then identifying the best title that goes with that. Of course, I'm also planning some really fun activities for students. I'm going to have an Easter egg hunt that also has some questions in it. And we'll have a little fun snack on Thursday. We have a last day of interventions going on, and I'm probably going to get a little gift for all my students that I did interventions with and give that to them on Thursday. So it will be, a mixture of review and fun, and I'm really looking forward to the week. So what are your thoughts? Do you have any tried and true strategies for keeping students happy and on task, avoiding conflict, and keeping a calm atmosphere in your classroom? I'd love for you to comment below and share them with each other so that we can all benefit from a whole list of ideas that we can pull for our classrooms. Wherever you're at, I hope that you are surviving these last few days well before spring break and going out on a high note with your students. Don't forget to work hard, have a lot of fun with your kids, and be kind. Amazing things are sure to happen. Have a great day and happy spring break.